Okay, here's something wild. You're wearing fabric right now and you probably have no idea what it actually is. Not really. You know it says 100% polyester or cotton blend on the tag, but do you know what that means for your body, your skin, your washing machine, or the planet? There are 10 fabrics that show up in almost everything you own. 10. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what each one is, where it comes from, and why it matters which one you're wearing. Let's get into it. Here's the thing about fabric. Most people pick clothes based on how they look, and then wonder why they're sweating through a meeting, or why their workout shirt smells after one use, or why that blouse they loved in the store feels scratchy after 2 washes. The fabric is almost always the answer. Different fibers behave completely differently on your body. Some breathe, some trap heat, some wick moisture away, some pill, shrink, or stretch out of shape after a few washes. And some, this is the part most people don't know, release tiny plastic particles into your water every single time you wash them. That's not a scare tactic. That's just what synthetic fabrics do. Knowing what your clothes are made of doesn't make you a fashion expert. It makes you someone who buys smarter, wears more comfortably, and wastes less money replacing things that weren't right for the job in the first place. Cotton. We start with the most important fabric in human history. Cotton is a natural fiber that comes from the fluffy seed pods of the cotton plant, those white, cloud-like balls you've probably seen in pictures of fields in the American South, India, or Egypt. It's been used to make clothing for over 7,000 years. Today, cotton makes up roughly 40% of all clothing produced worldwide. That t-shirt, those jeans, that underwear, almost certainly cotton. And for good reason. Cotton is soft, breathable, absorbs moisture well, and is gentle on sensitive skin. It's the fabric that works hardest for you in everyday life without you even noticing. The surprising fact: the cotton in your t-shirt went through over 70 different processes before it became a piece of clothing, from harvesting and ginning to spinning, weaving, dyeing, and finishing. That simple, white tee is anything but simple to make. Who it's perfect for: everyday basics, t-shirts, underwear, bed sheets, towels, and anything that sits directly against your skin for long periods. Polyester. The next one is the most produced fabric on the planet and the most controversial. Polyester is a synthetic fiber made from petroleum. Yes, the same stuff that goes into plastic bottles. In fact, recycled polyester is literally made from melted down PET plastic bottles, the same #1 plastic we covered in a previous video. Polyester is strong, wrinkle-resistant, dries very fast, and holds color well. That's why it's everywhere in activewear, outerwear, fast fashion, and almost every cotton blend you own. The problem is that polyester traps heat and moisture, which means you sweat more and the sweat stays on your skin longer. And here's the part that's hard to ignore. Every time you wash a polyester garment, it releases hundreds of thousands of microplastic fibers into the water. Those fibers pass through water treatment systems and end up in oceans, in fish, and eventually back in us. The surprising fact: polyester now accounts for over 54% of all fiber production globally, more than all natural fibers combined. Who it's perfect for: activewear, outerwear, and anything where durability and quick drying matter more than breathability. Linen. Now comes one that's having a massive moment right now, and for good reason. Linen is made from the fibers of the flax plant, one of the oldest cultivated plants in history. It's been found in Egyptian tombs dating back over 4,000 years, and it's still one of the best fabrics for warm weather clothing. Linen is incredibly breathable, more so than cotton, and it absorbs moisture quickly and releases it fast, which means it keeps you cool even in humid heat. It's also naturally antibacterial, which helps with odor. The catch: linen wrinkles a lot. If you've ever worn a linen shirt for more than an hour, you know that crinkled look is either its charm or its biggest flaw depending on your personality. The surprising fact: linen is actually stronger when wet than when dry, the opposite of most fabrics. Washing it doesn't weaken it, it softens it. Linen gets better with every wash. Who it's perfect for: summer clothing, hot and humid climates, casual shirts, trousers, bedding, and anyone who runs hot. Wool. This is the one most people think they understand, but actually don't. Wool is a natural fiber that comes from the fleece of sheep and other animals. Merino sheep for the softest wool, alpacas for a silkier version, and cashmere goats for the most luxurious. What makes wool unlike any other fabric is its natural structure. Each wool fiber has tiny scales that trap air and create an insulating layer around your body. That's why wool keeps you warm even when it's wet, something almost no other fabric can do. But wool isn't just for winter. Merino wool in particular is worn by ultra-distance runners and hikers in warm conditions because it regulates temperature in both directions, keeping you warm when cold and cool when hot. The surprising fact: wool is naturally fire resistant. It doesn't melt or drip like synthetic fabrics when exposed to flame, it chars and self-extinguishes. That's why wool blankets are still used in aircraft cabins. Who it's perfect for? Cold weather clothing, base layers for outdoor activities, socks, blankets, and anyone who needs temperature regulation in changing conditions. Silk. Now comes the most luxurious fabric on this list, and the one with the most dramatic origin story. Silk is a natural protein fiber produced by silkworms, specifically the cocoons they spin before becoming moths. A single silkworm cocoon can produce a continuous thread up to 900 meters long. Thousands of those threads are twisted together to make silk fabric. The result is a material that is incredibly smooth, lightweight, naturally temperature regulating, and has a distinctive sheen that no synthetic fabric has ever truly replicated. Silk feels cool against the skin in summer and warm in winter, making it genuinely one of the most versatile luxury materials that exists. In daily life, you'll find it in blouses, scarves, ties, luxury bedding, and sleepwear. The surprising fact: silk was kept as a state secret by China for over 2,000 years. Sharing the secret of silk production with foreigners was punishable by death. The Silk Road, one of the most important trade routes in human history, was named after this single fabric. Who it's perfect for? Special occasion clothing, luxury bedding, scarves, and anyone with sensitive skin who wants the most gentle fabric available. Nylon. The next one is in more of your wardrobe than you realize, and it was literally invented to replace silk. Nylon is the first fully synthetic fabric ever created, developed by DuPont in the 1930s as a cheaper alternative to silk for women's stockings. Today it's in your activewear, swimwear, leggings, tights, backpacks, and outdoor gear. Nylon is exceptionally strong, stronger than polyester, and has a natural elasticity that lets it stretch and snap back to shape. It's also highly resistant to abrasion, which is why it's used in anything that takes wear and friction. The problem with nylon, like polyester, is that it traps heat, doesn't breathe well, and releases microplastics when washed. The surprising fact: nylon stockings were so revolutionary when they launched in 1940 that over 4 million pairs were sold in the first 4 days. Women lined up around city blocks to buy them. The word nylon itself has no meaning. DuPont invented it specifically to sound modern and synthetic. Who it's perfect for? Activewear, swimwear, hosiery, outdoor gear, and anything that needs to be both strong and stretchy. Spandex. This is the one that's secretly in almost everything you own, usually without you knowing. Spandex, also called elastane or lycra, is a synthetic fiber that can stretch up to 600% of its original length and snap back perfectly to shape. That's not an exaggeration. It's one of the most elastic materials ever created. You'll almost never find a garment made entirely of spandex. Instead, it's blended into other fabrics in small percentages, usually 2 to 5%, to give them stretch. That slight stretch in your jeans? Spandex. The recovery in your workout leggings? Spandex. The comfortable give in your underwear waistband? Also spandex. The surprising fact: spandex was invented in 1958 by chemist Joseph Shivers at DuPont, the same company that invented nylon. He called it Fiber K during development. The name spandex is an anagram of the word expands. Who it's perfect for? Literally everything that needs to move with your body: activewear, underwear, jeans, swimwear, and any garment where comfort and fit matter. Bamboo. Now comes the one with the most marketing claims and the most complicated truth. Bamboo fabric is sold as a sustainable, eco-friendly, naturally soft alternative to cotton and silk. And the bamboo plant itself genuinely is remarkable. It grows incredibly fast, requires no pesticides, and regenerates without replanting. The problem is what happens between the bamboo plant and your t-shirt. Most bamboo fabric is actually bamboo viscose, a process that uses harsh chemicals to dissolve the bamboo into a pulp and spin it into fiber. By the time it becomes fabric, almost nothing of the original bamboo plant's natural properties remains. That naturally antibacterial bamboo claim on the label? Mostly marketing. The surprising fact: the Federal Trade Commission in the US has taken legal action against dozens of companies for mislabeling bamboo viscose as bamboo or natural bamboo. If your bamboo clothing doesn't specify bamboo linen or bamboo lifestyle, it's almost certainly chemically processed viscose. Who it's perfect for? Sleepwear and loungewear where softness and drape are the priority, but go in with realistic expectations about the sustainability claims. Rayon viscose. The next one is the most misunderstood fabric on the entire list because most people have never heard of it, but they wear it constantly. Rayon, also called viscose, is a semi-synthetic fabric made from wood pulp, usually from trees like beech, pine, or eucalyptus. It's not fully natural because it requires significant chemical processing. It's not fully synthetic because it starts from a natural source. It sits in between. What rayon does brilliantly is mimic the feel and drape of silk at a fraction of the cost. It's soft, lightweight, breathable, and falls beautifully on the body. That flowy summer dress that feels almost silky but definitely wasn't priced like silk, almost certainly rayon. The surprising fact: rayon was the world's first man-made fiber, developed in the late 1800s as artificial silk. For decades, it was marketed as a luxury fabric. Today, it's one of the cheapest fabrics in fast fashion and one of the least durable. It weakens significantly when wet and can shrink or distort easily. Who it's perfect for: flowy dresses, blouses, linings, and any garment where drape and softness matter more than durability. Fleece. And we reach the last one, and it's the one with the most surprising origin story on this list. Fleece is a soft, warm synthetic fabric made almost entirely from polyester. Despite feeling nothing like plastic, most fleece is literally made from recycled plastic bottles. The PET plastic gets melted down, spun into fibers, and brushed into that soft, fluffy texture you know from hoodies, jackets, and blankets. Fleece is lightweight, dries incredibly fast, and provides warmth without the weight of wool. It's the go-to fabric for outdoor and athletic brands for exactly that reason. The catch, and it's a significant one, is that fleece is one of the worst fabrics for microplastic pollution. A single fleece jacket can shed over 1 million microplastic fibers in a single wash. A surprising fact: Patagonia, one of the most famous outdoor brands in the world, was the first company to make fleece from recycled plastic bottles, back in 1993. They essentially invented the concept of recycled performance fabric before sustainability was a mainstream conversation. Who it's perfect for: outdoor layering, casual warmth, and any situation where lightweight insulation matters more than breathability. All right, here's the ranking nobody puts on a clothing label. Not best looking, best for actually wearing every day. Starting at the bottom, polyester on its own. Hot, moisture trapping, and releasing microplastics every wash. It has its place in activewear and outerwear, but as an everyday fabric for clothing that sits against your skin all day, it's the worst option on this list. Just above it, rayon and viscose. Beautiful drape, terrible durability. Great for one special occasion dress. Bad for anything you plan to wear and wash repeatedly. In the middle, nylon and spandex. Essential in blends, problematic on their own. You want them in small percentages, not as the main fabric. Fleece earns a complicated spot, incredible for warmth and outdoor use, but the microplastic issue is real. Use a washing bag designed to catch microfibers if you wash fleece regularly. Bamboo sits here too, genuinely soft, but the sustainability claims are mostly overstated. It's a good fabric with a misleading marketing story. Silk is extraordinary, but not for daily wear. It's dry clean only, weakens when wet, and stains easily. Reserve it for special occasions and it's unbeatable. Try to wear it every day and it'll break your heart. Now we enter genuinely great daily wear territory. Linen is underrated by most people who haven't tried it. Once you wear linen in summer, cotton feels heavy by comparison. Wool, specifically merino, is the most versatile fabric on this list for anyone who moves between different temperatures throughout the day. It's the one fabric that genuinely does everything. And at the top for everyday wear, cotton. Not glamorous, not trendy, not the most technical, but 7,000 years of daily use doesn't lie. Soft, breathable, washable, affordable, gentle on skin, the most reliable fabric in your wardrobe every single day. That's all 10. Next time you check a clothing label, you'll actually know what you're reading. I want to hear from you. What fabric do you wear most? And is there one you're going to think twice about after this video? Tell me in the comments. And if you want to keep learning about the things you use every day without really knowing what they are, subscribe. See you in the next one.